Karen never imagined a simple phone call would change her life forever. She stood on the sidewalk, arms crossed, dialing the police with a smug smile as sirens echoed closer. She told them a man had blocked a driveway and refused to move. What she didn't know was that the driveway was his, and the man she insulted controlled far more power than she could ever understand. This story would reveal a twist no one in that quiet neighborhood saw coming. The morning had started peacefully. Daniel parked his black SUV across his own driveway while unloading equipment. It was temporary, harmless, and well within his property line. But Karen, his neighbor, believed rules only applied to others. She stormed out, shouting that she would not tolerate lawlessness on her street. Daniel calmly explained it was his driveway. She laughed and called the police anyway. When officers arrived, Karen performed for them, pointing dramatically and demanding action. Daniel remained silent, handing over his identification without argument. One officer paused, confused by the address listed. Another stepped aside to make a call. Karen kept talking, growing louder, confident she was winning. She had no idea the situation had already slipped from her control. As the officers returned, their tone changed. Respect replaced suspicion. Daniel received a quiet call on his phone. He listened, nodded once, and looked directly at Karen. "Please," he said calmly, "come with me to my command office." Her smile vanished instantly, replaced by a look of pure disbelief as reality began to shift. Karen followed Daniel in silence, her confidence draining with every step. The police cars no longer felt like allies. They felt like witnesses. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Daniel drove calmly, his posture relaxed, as if this were an ordinary errand. For Karen, it felt like walking into a storm she had summoned herself. They arrived at a secure government building just outside town. Guards stood alert. One officer stepped ahead and spoke Daniel's name with clear respect. Karen's heart raced. This was not how HOA complaints usually ended. Inside, Daniel walked with quiet authority. Hallways echoed with restrained power. He stopped at a door marked Command Office. Karen froze. Her breath caught as realization slowly dawned. This wasn't a threat. This was reality. Daniel finally spoke, his voice steady. He explained that blocking his own driveway was legal. Calling the police under false claims was not. The officers confirmed it gently, professionally. Karen tried to explain, to justify, to shift blame, but the words collapsed before leaving her mouth. She had built her identity on control, rules, and intimidation. Now she stood powerless, facing consequences she never imagined. Daniel wasn't angry. That scared her more. As paperwork was prepared, Karen realized this was only the beginning. The driveway dispute had opened a door she could never close again. News traveled fast through the neighborhood. Whispers replaced gossip. People who once feared Karen now watched quietly as reality caught up with her. HOA board members received official notices requesting records, complaints, and meeting transcripts. Daniel returned home peacefully, but the atmosphere had changed. HOA letters stopped arriving. Karen avoided eye contact. The authority she once wielded had vanished overnight. An investigation revealed patterns. Harassment. False reports. Abuse of HOA power. Daniel had documented everything, patiently, legally, without drama. He had waited for the truth to surface on its own. Karen was summoned again, this time formally. No shouting. No accusations. Just facts. Each complaint she filed was reviewed. Each warning she ignored was noted. The calm professionalism in the room made her feel smaller than she had ever felt before. Daniel never raised his voice. He didn't need to. The system worked exactly as it was meant to when respected. Karen finally understood that authority without responsibility collapses. As she left the building, she realized the neighborhood she tried to control had outgrown her fear. And the man she tried to humiliate had quietly restored balance without ever seeking revenge. But the final decision had not yet been delivered. The HOA board meeting was different this time. No applause. No cheering. Just silence. Karen sat alone as findings were presented. Her actions were laid out clearly. There was no emotion in the room, only truth. The board voted unanimously. Karen was removed from her position. Fines were issued. Restrictions were placed. The power she once used carelessly was gone in a single moment. Daniel attended briefly, not to celebrate, but to close the chapter. He spoke calmly about community, respect, and boundaries. His words weren't sharp, but they landed deeply. Neighbors felt relief. Some felt guilt for staying silent for so long. Others felt inspired. One person standing firm had changed everything. Karen left quietly, avoiding the cameras, avoiding questions. The street that once echoed with her demands now felt peaceful. Daniel returned home, parked across his driveway again, and smiled. No one complained. No one called the police. The lesson had settled into the foundation of the neighborhood. Power misused always finds its end, but the final twist was still waiting. Weeks later, legal notices arrived. Karen faced consequences beyond the HOA. False reports carry weight when patterns are proven. She was offered one option: accountability or escalation. She chose silence. Daniel chose closure. The neighborhood installed new leadership. Transparent rules. Fair enforcement. Community returned where fear once lived. Children played freely. Conversations returned to normal. Daniel never told his story publicly. He didn't need validation. He knew truth had spoken louder than any argument. Karen moved away quietly. No goodbye. No apology. Just absence. Some neighbors finally understood that respect isn't enforced through threats. It's earned through fairness, and the driveway that started it all remained unchanged. Months passed. The story became a quiet legend. Not exaggerated. Not dramatized. Just remembered. New residents were told one simple lesson: don't assume power where none exists. Don't mistake confidence for authority. Daniel continued his work, unseen, uncelebrated. That was how he preferred it. The police officers who once responded remembered the call clearly. It reminded them that truth often hides behind calm voices, not loud accusations. Karen's name faded. Daniel's impact remained. The neighborhood healed. Karen thought control made her strong. Daniel proved that calm made him powerful. One phone call changed everything. Not because of anger, but because of truth. And that was the final twist in this unbelievable HOA story. If you loved the drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts. It really helps this channel grow.